people will die in the same financial place they were born, not because of fate, not because of a lack of opportunity, but because they never question the voice in their mind that says, "This is all there is." The tragedy is not poverty. The tragedy is the belief that poverty is permanent. From the moment you took your first breath, you were taught what to think about money. Not how money works, not how energy moves, but what to fear about it. Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. We can't afford that. These phrases became gospel in your subconscious before you could even speak. They weren't lessons, they were curses. Passed down like a family heirloom, a mindset of limitation wrapped in love, fear, and survival. And so, we grow up believing that wealth is for others. That success is earned only through suffering. That struggle is a badge of honor, and wanting more is somehow wrong. But here's the truth LouiseHay understood, the kind of truth they never teach in school, because it doesn't serve the system to have people who are free. You are not poor because of what's in your bank account. You are poor because of what's in your mind, mindset, and mental programming. Poverty is not a number, it's a pattern. It's waking up every morning in a fog of worrying. It's feeling unworthy when you see someone succeed. It's silently judging people who have money because deep down, you believe you'll never be like them. You tell yourself stories like, "I don't care about money," but your body flinches when the bills come in. That's not peace, that's programming. And it's powerful, because your outer world is a mirror of your inner one. Your thoughts create a frequency, a signal, and the universe, ever faithful, reflects that signal back to you through your experiences. Louise said it best, every thought we think is creating our future. And your thoughts about money are building a prison or a pathway every single day. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And what you are is shaped by what you believe, the hidden belief system behind scarcity. Let's pull back the curtain and see what most people are really operating from. The average person believes money is hard to earn. People like me never get ahead. If I ask for more, I'll seem greedy. I'm just not good with money. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself this. Whose voice is that? Because it's not yours. You weren't born with it, you inherited it from people who were hurt, scared, traumatized by lack. From generations trying to survive. From a society that keeps you small so you never challenge the system. And what you don't heal, you repeat. But now comes the turning point, awareness. Once you become aware of these invisible chains, you no longer have the excuse to stay in them. That's the moment you start to escape. Not when your salary increases, not when your job changes. Money is energy, not struggle. Money is not evil. Money is not physical. Money is not reserved for the lucky, the talented, the ruthless. Money is energy, and energy flows where attention goes. If you fear money, it runs from you. If you resent it, it hides. If you feel unworthy of it, it disappears. But when you begin to respect money, treat it like a trusted friend instead of a threat, it comes closer. Think of the last time you paid a bill with bitterness. That emotion wrapped itself around the money you send out, and what you send, you receive. Louise taught us that resentment, fear, guilt, and unworthiness are the root causes of all disease. And poverty is a disease, a spiritual and emotional imbalance that manifests in the material world. So instead of paying with stress, pay with gratitude. Instead of thinking, "This is taking from me," think, "This is proof that I am in motion, that I am supported, that money flows through my life like a river, and rivers are meant to flow." Rewiring the money blueprint. Now is the time to dismantle the blueprint that's been keeping you poor. Because yes, you have a money blueprint. It was written by your parents, your teachers, your religion, your past experiences. It tells you how much is enough, what is possible, and whether you're worthy, and unless you rewrite it, you will never rise above it. But this blueprint is not concrete, it is code, and code can be rewritten. How? With new words, new images, new experiences, new emotions. Start here. Replace "I can't afford this" with "How can I afford this?" Replace "I'm bad with money" with "I'm learning to master money." Replace "money is the root of evil" with "money is a tool for freedom and service." Every time you say these things, you chip away at the old wiring. And like a sculptor carving a masterpiece from stone, your wealth begins to emerge. The discipline of abundance. But here's where most people fail. They treat mindset like a moment, not a muscle. You don't escape poverty by feeling inspired once. You escape by building rituals, habits, daily practices that align your thoughts, your language, your environment, and your energy with abundance. Louise didn't just talk about affirmations, she lived them. Every morning, every mirror, every moment of fear, she spoke to herself like someone who was becoming. That's discipline. And discipline is the bridge between your beliefs and your bank account. Are you willing to show up daily for your transformation? Are you willing to speak abundance even when you don't feel it yet? Are you willing to honor the money you have even if it's just coins in a jar? Because the universe is listening. And it doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to alignment. Vision and deservingness. The reason most people stay poor isn't just because they don't know what to do, it's because they don't believe they deserve more than what they have. They walk through life like beggars at a feast, unaware they've always had a seat at the table. But your vision, the one you dare to hold in the quiet hours of the night, that's not fantasy. That's instruction. That's divine memory. LouiseHay reminded us, we are each responsible for all of our experiences, and what you are willing to envision boldly, unapologetically, consistently, becomes the blueprint for your reality. You can't create wealth while seeing yourself as a victim. You can't attract abundance while identifying as someone who never catches a break. You have to trade your old identity for a new one, a powerful one. One that says, I am a creator, I am not my past. I am not my parents' patterns. I am not my bank balance, I am my intention, my attention, and my energy in motion. This shift from powerless to powerful is the difference between poverty and prosperity. Not just in money, but in every area of life. Action over wishing, but vision without movement is delusion. You cannot journal your way out of poverty if your actions still scream scarcity. You can't chant affirmations in the morning and then sabotage yourself by afternoon. The people who escape poverty truly escape it. You one thing others never dare. They act as if they are already abundant. That doesn't mean they spend recklessly. It means they move from a place of faith, not fear. They invest in themselves when it feels uncomfortable. They walk into the room like they belong there. They speak like money is listening. Because it is, money is not attracted to need. It is attracted to leadership. The most magnetic thing in the universe is a human being who knows where they're going and moves toward it with calm certainty. No begging, no shrinking, no apologies. Are you willing to act in alignment with the wealth you claim to desire? Because life responds to the energy you embody, not the words you recite. The sacred relationship with money. Most people never escape because they never repair their relationship with money. They treat it like a stranger, they blame it when it's gone, they fear it when it's near, and they never speak to it with gratitude. Imagine treating a friend this way, would they stay? Money is a living energy, it responds to your attitude, your language, your handling. If you treat it like a burden, it will burden you. If you treat it with reverence, it will return with blessings. Louise taught, what we give out, we get back. This is not just emotional, it's financial. When you give with joy, money returns through unexpected channels. When you spend with intention, money respects your direction. When you forgive yourself for past mistakes, for the debt, for the shame, for the years wasted, money begins to move again. Because forgiveness clears the blockages in your soul where wealth once tried to flow. You don't need more money to feel safe. You need to heal the part of you that feels unsafe without it. Gratitude, the frequency of receiving. Poverty traps the mind in a loop of lack. But gratitude breaks the cycle. Not because it's spiritual fluff, but because it is frequency medicine. Gratitude changes your emotional channel from fear to trust, from desperation to openness, and that shift is everything. You want more wealth? Start with appreciation. Appreciate the roof over your head, the clothes on your back, the dollar in your wallet, the skills you carry, the breath in your lungs, because all of it is proof that you are already supported. When you say thank you to money, it listens. When you say thank you to your bills, you shift from resistance to flow. When you say thank you to every small win, every check, every coin on the ground, you become a magnet for miracles. The most abundant people aren't waiting for millions to feel rich. They're already rich, and that's why the millions come. Gratitude doesn't just change your mood, it changes your magnetism. Resilience and rebuilding your identity. You will be tested. You will make mistakes. You will have moments of doubt, fear, and collapse. But the people who break free from poverty aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who refuse to stay down. Louise knew this deeply. After surviving abuse, cancer, and trauma, she didn't just survive, she transcended. She rebuilt her entire life by healing her mind. She chose new words. She spoke new beliefs. She forged a new reality out of rubble. And you can do the same. You don't need perfect credit to begin again. You don't need an inheritance to rise. You need a decision. A real one, not a wish, not a someday, but a now. The day you say, "This ends with me," the generational poverty stops here. I will not pass these beliefs to my children. That is the day you stop being poor even if your bank account hasn't caught up yet. Because wealth begins inside, and when you build it there, the world has no choice but to reflect it back. Environment, what you allow shapes what you become. You can't grow roses in a field of weeds and expect them to bloom. And you can't cultivate wealth while surrounding yourself with the energy of lack, chaos, and complaint. Look around your space. Look at the people you listen to, the content you consume, the conversations you tolerate. Every piece of your environment is either watering your wealth or choking it. Your home, your car, your wallet, they are not neutral. They are reflections of your inner story, cluttered. That's how abundance feels trying to find a way in. Disorganized, that's how money gets confused and stays away. Clean it, honor it. Prepare your space like money is already on its way because it is. And then look at the people. Do they speak possibility or poverty? Do they expand you or shame you for wanting more? Do they dream with you, or do they remind you every day why you should play small? Louise said it without apology. You deserve to be prosperous. If someone in your life makes you feel guilty for believing that, their time in your life has expired. Inner wealth first, outer wealth follows. What most people get wrong is that they chase money, thinking it will create internal peace. But wealth never fixes the wounds that created the poverty mindset in the first place. You want real, lasting abundance, then you have to become wealthy inside. That means healing the voice that says you're not enough. That means nurturing your body like it matters. That means dressing for the version of you who already succeeded, not to impress the world, but to signal to yourself that you are done waiting for permission. Inner wealth is how you treat your mind in the morning. It's the thoughts you speak into your reflection. It's how you act when nobody's watching. You can be broke and wealthy at the same time because money is a byproduct of identity. Change who you are, and the money will come find you. Intuition, with a compass to your abundance. Poverty conditions people to ignore their instincts. Scarcity makes you second-guess every urge, every idea, every dream. But your intuition, that quiet whisper that says there's more for you, it's never wrong. Louise taught people to trust their inner guidance even when logic screamed otherwise. She built an empire not from business plans, but from alignment. Your mind might ask, how will this make money? Your soul whispers, follow this path, trust the whisper. That idea that came to you in the shower, that business you can't stop thinking about. That vision you had when the world went quiet. That is your higher self showing you the door to wealth, and most people ignore it because it doesn't come wrapped in certainty. But neither did the light bulb, or the airplane, or the internet. Every innovation, every fortune, every breakthrough was once a whisper that someone chose to believe. Will you believe yours? Letting go of the fear of judgment. You want to know the real reason people stay broke. They care more about looking normal than becoming free. They dress for approvals, then for status, and shrink their dreams to fit into conversations they've outgrown. They hide their ambition so they won't offend their friends. They dim their light so others don't feel small. But let me tell you the truth LouiseHay lived and taught. You were never meant to fit in, you were meant to expand. And expansion makes people uncomfortable. Your success will trigger others' insecurities. Your healing will shine a light on their wounds. Your wealth will expose their excuses, and if you're not ready to be misunderstood, you're not ready to be great. But if you can stand firm in your worth, your vision, your truth, the world will bend to match you. Your job is not to convince others that you're allowed to grow. Your job is to grow anyway, money as a tool for service and freedom. Most people stay poor because they misunderstand what money is for. They see it as the goal, the idol, the object of obsession or shame. But Louise saw it clearly. Money is not the goal, freedom is. Service is, purpose is, money is a tool. It's a passport to expression, a way to love your family, to support causes that move your soul, to eat food that nourishes your body, to live in spaces that lift your energy, to say no when a job disrespects your peace, to say yes to rest, to art, to beauty. When you view money this way, your entire vibration shifts. You stop chasing and you start creating. Money is not dirty, it's not sinful, it's not evil. It's a magnifier. It turns up the volume on who you already are. So become someone who gives, who creates, who uplifts. And then allow money to amplify that impact, closing the gap between now and abundance. Right now, there is a version of you not in some distant future, but already alive in the quantum field, who is wealthy, free, fulfilled, generous. Calm. And every decision you make either brings you closer to that self or drags you further from it. When you say I can't, that version fades. When you say I'm ready, they move closer. When you choose discipline over delay, gratitude over fear, action over excuses, you step into that identity, and eventually, the world can't tell the difference between who you were and who you became. Because you didn't just escape poverty, you outgrew it. The decision that changes everything. There comes a moment of quiet, invisible, but uncheckable real, where you stop waiting for someone to come save you. You stop blaming the economy. You stop envying the wealthy. You stop negotiating with your limitations. And you decide, not hope, not wish, decide that this life, your life, will not be ruled by scarcity anymore. That your family's story will not end in struggle. That your dreams will not die inside you just because others were too afraid to chase theirs. Because you are not here to repeat the past. You are here to rewrite it. LouiseHay didn't rise by accident. She rose because she refused to stay wounded. She used her voice when others told her to be quiet. She healed her own life and then became the healer of millions. And she started with nothing except a choice, the same choice you have right now. Call to soul awakening. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a master of your direction. You are not stuck. You are waiting to move. You are not unworthy. You are simply untrained in the truth of who you really are. And the truth is this: you were born for abundance. You were born to overflow with joy, not anxiety, to build, not beg, to give, not grasp. To walk through this world with an open heart, open hands, and the confidence of someone who finally remembers their power. This is the power of thought, the power of belief, the power of energy aligned with purpose. And when you align with that power, poverty has no place to live inside you anymore. Final empowerment. From this moment forward, you will no longer see money as a mystery. You will see it as your mirror, and you will polish the reflection every single day. You will speak to money like it hears you. You will treat yourself like you are already wealthy. You will forgive your past. You will walk like a person with vision. You will invest in your growth, not your excuses. And you will teach the next generation not how to survive, but how to expand. Because escaping poverty is not about dollars. It's about consciousness. And now that you are awake, the world must rise to meet you. Stand tall, speak wealth, and walk forward not like a person trying to get rich, but like someone who finally knows you always were.